Ceremony. It's my pleasure to introduce the official party, Captain Carmichael, Master Chief Isbell, and our guest speakers today, AZCM Barber and Senior Chief Barber. I apologize. Please welcome DC-1 Roland Soto for the opening prayer.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. If I could have you stand, please. And join me in a moment of prayer. Almighty God, we thank you so much for such a beautiful day, for a day that we can say that there's no hate, no home for hate here, that we are setting the example that we're all equal, that it doesn't matter our sexual orientation, it doesn't matter our color, our race, or anything like that. We're all created in your image, and we're all your sons and daughters. Please lead this ceremony today and let us learn from it. Amen.
Thank you, DC-1, for those words of blessings. Every generation of Americans has brought our nation closer to fulfilling its promise of equality. While progress is taking time, our achievements in advancing to the rights of LGBTQ+ reminds us that the history is on our side and that American people will never stop striving toward liberty and justice for all. Next, I would like to introduce BM2 Gomez.
Throughout the month of June, the Navy joins the nation in observing LGBTQ+. The Navy is committed to fostering an actively inclusive environment that values the diversity of its force and recognizes the service members and civilians achieve optimal performance when each and every member of one Navy team is treated with dignity and respect. Initially established as Gay and Lesbian Month by the Presidential Proclamation in 2000, LGBTQ+ Pride Month recognizes the accomplishments of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community and acknowledges their continued struggle to achieve equality. The Navy and DoD have demonstrated their commitment to gender equality and inclusion by implementing the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy in 2011, enabling gay, lesbian, and bisexuals to openly serve in the armed forces, and by instituting a 2016 policy change to enable transgender personnel to serve as their preferred gender. In support of the Navy's primary mission of deterring and defeating adversaries in all domains across all spectrums of warfare, the Navy is committed to building and maintaining force comprised of the most capable and qualified sailors, regardless of ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, class, or background. Thank you for participating in the LGBTQ+ Pride Month in recognition of the service and dedication of the men and women who contribute their diverse skills, perspectives, talents, and backgrounds to strengthen one Navy team. Have a nice day, Bataan.
Thank you, BM2 Gomez. During LGBTQ Pride Month, we celebrate the proud legacy individuals have woven into our fabric of our nation. We honor those who have fought to perfect our union, and we continue to work to build a society where every child grows up knowing that their country supports them. That it's proud of them and that it has a place for them exactly as they are. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, AZCM Barber.
I'm not going to take up too much of your time because I know it's warm. Y'all probably like, what time we getting off work? I don't know how that works for y'all in the shipyards, but I remember when. Got it. Oh, y'all got it all day. Noted, sir. Very well. All right, so greetings to each of you, and I want to, extend a humble thank you to the COXO, Master Chief Isbell, for allowing me to come and spread some inspiration and motivation with you all today. I am AZCM Courtney Barber. I am also the author of Unapologetically Favored, a woman leader a testimony, and Wake Up, Turn Up, Bless Up, which is a motivational, inspirational book for my everyday working woman. Today, I'm going to share a little bit with you about my early years in the Navy and how I was able to overcome my struggle in dealing with who I truly am today. I was born and raised in Greensboro, North Carolina. My mom and my stepfather, they raised my brother and I like any ordinary middle-class family. We went to school, we came home, did homework, played outside with the neighborhood kids. My mother and my stepfather worked. Every Sunday we were in church thanking God for another successful and complete week while getting ready to do the same thing all over again the following week. As I grew older, I became more aware of life and how society likes to fit us all in these little perfect boxes. And if you don't fit inside this mold or this box, people will shame you, they talk about you, they judge you, they cast you out, they want nothing to do with you, and sometimes those same people that don't want anything to do with you can also be in your family. I had boyfriends growing up, but I wasn't really boy crazy. I was just doing what I was supposed to do to fit inside this perfect mold so nobody would talk about me, judge me, shame me. I was living my life for society instead of living my life for myself. In July of 1999, after graduating high school, don't judge me because I look good for my age, I shipped off to boot camp. I had no idea what was in store for my life or what was going to happen, right? I was only intended on doing 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. 22 years later, I'm still here. So let me tell you about these first 4 years. November 1999, I was on the Eisenhower. First Com2X, first time being underway. And some of y'all can probably relate because you probably haven't been underway yet, but let me tell you, you work 7 days a week out to sea. See, I didn't know that. So Saturday morning came, I had plans to get up to go to the gym. I was going to the library, shoot a couple of emails, go down to the nest deck, stay in the lounge, watch some movies in the Berthen, you know how it is. Until AZ2 De La Rosa opened my curtains and said, Amy Cottrell, what are you doing? You're going to be late for work. I said, girl, it's Saturday. And I rolled back over. Little did I know, we worked 7 days a week. 4 years, I was done after that because my recruiter didn't tell me that part, right? I learned the hard way. But I also ended up finding out I was going to learn a lot more about the Navy, myself, and my purpose. Growing into a young woman and becoming more independent, I got married to a man, right? You go that little mold, that perfect box. And of course, that relationship did not last. But it was during that marriage that I finally said I had had enough. I knew I was not sexually attracted to men, and I was very unhappy. I loved my husband, but I was not in love with him. It's always a difference. You can love somebody and not be in love with them. I was living my life for everyone else, but I wasn't living for me. I was soon going through a divorce, going through depression. I had no one to talk to because we had don't ask, don't tell. I wouldn't dare talk to my mom about anything because of the way I was brought up being in the church, and I'm going to hell if I did any kind of sin. And I had that fear that she would disown me if she found out what I was truly feeling. The one time I did have a conversation with my mom, she told me, you know what, Courtney, you just haven't found the right man yet. And I was like, what? So I said, okay, I'm gonna flip it back around on you. So I asked my mom, I said, you like coconut? And I know she can't stand coconut because I can't stand coconut either. Don't come around me with that cake, that coconut-filled cake. I knew she didn't like coconut. So she was like, you know I don't like coconut. I said, well, you just haven't had the right coconut. Needless to say, we never really kind of visited that conversation ever again. But that was what, I turned it around to her. And, you know, I don't like, it's annoying when people say that. You haven't found the right man. I'm like, well, maybe if you don't like tomato or ketchup, or some people like ketchup, you haven't found the right tomatoes. Just think of it in that aspect. But that's what makes us all different. It makes us all unique because we all have something that we're attracted to, whether it's onions, whether it's dogs or cats, whether it's going fishing every day or running 100 miles a week. Winston, Alvarado, wherever he's at right now. That's what makes us unique. Well, one day at work as an E5, I actually had a mental breakdown. I was angry, I was upset, I cried. I lashed out on my LPO, AZ1 Clayton, I'll never forget her, because here I was navigating a part of my life, a very early adulthood part of my life. I had no mentor, I had nobody I could talk to, I had nobody I could trust with information that could possibly separate me from the greatest thing that ever happened in my life, right? I wasn't sure what my future was going to hold, but that breakdown is what I needed in order to have a breakthrough. I was at the bottom of a very dark hole, sitting there by myself at that time. You see, sometimes in your life, when you think your life is turned upside down and nothing is going the way that you think it should go, always remember that you're not being buried, you're being planted. But you have to shift your mindset from being negative to being positive and learn that the word no only means next opportunity. You have to learn to look at life as being full of opportunities, vice being full of obstacles. Shift your mind to see what it is that you could possibly be missing. Because a lot of the times you can miss your blessings in life because you become so consumed in the negativity that surrounds you. You focus on the wrong things. You build a false narrative in your mind that people are out to get you, condemn you, and you take everything personal. But a lot of the time, You are the reason why people act a certain way around you. You are the common denominator. You cannot control people or things around you, but what you can control is your response to them. You can't control your attitude and how you let situations affect you, because your attitude and your gratitude will ultimately affect your life's altitude. It was then that I chose not to be a victim anymore. It was then that I chose to stand up and be who I was truly meant to be, and that was just to come out as a lesbian. I refused to keep adjusting my boundaries for society so that I wouldn't offend anyone else. Instead, I stayed true and unapologetic to myself, and I made the people around me adjust their boundaries to let me be who I am. Because in my mind, whoever was still inside my corner, inside of my circle, were the ones that truly cared for me. There can be people in your circle, but sometimes they might not be in your corner. And everyone is not going to be for you. And it's okay. Everybody's just not going to be for you. And it's not your job for you to convince them to be your friend, or for you to prove to yourself that you can be a good person. Just be who you are. When you start to exude confidence, and when you begin to accept and love who you are truly at your core, it will show to those around you. You will start to see the way people respect you. You will be sought out by others who want to know a little bit more about how are you able to get through life struggles and obstacles without anything affecting you. Well, I have a daughter, a son, a brother, a mother who's going through the same thing. What do I do? You begin to be sought out just by the people who are curious as to how you are able to walk around unbothered with so much pride and so much courage. So, Sarah, I have a curse word in my speech. Can I pass it? All right, we're adults, right? So let me tell y'all about my 6 F's. ABF 1, don't say nothing. Let me tell y'all about my 6 F's. Fucking, feeding, financing, family, the 1st and the 15th. Y'all get that? Or do I need to repeat it? Fucking, feeding, financing, family, the 1st and the 15th. Listen. If a person or situation that you encounter does not contribute to any one of those 6 F's in your life, they're irrelevant. Don't spend 5 minutes on something that's not going to mean anything in 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 years. I said that they would not control who I am or my response to them. So when I shifted my mindset and started to live for myself and not for society, my life changed. As I grew more confident in who I was, I understood what my value was and what I brought to the table. I became less worried about what people would think about me, because those who mind don't matter, and the ones who matter don't mind. I began to trust the process of life, and my naval career soared. I changed my attitude, I increased my gratitude, because I had an entire blank canvas of life in front of me, and I was holding a paintbrush in my hands. I could stay angry and upset about what other people thought about me, or what they would talk about and say about me behind my back, or I could be grateful that here I am at a young age with a life full of opportunities that someone else may never have. My altitude soared. There are so many LGBTQIA plus individuals who have nowhere to turn. They are afraid to be who they truly are because of how some of you may behave. Every one of you in here, you're a leader in some way. So be that leader that you needed when you were at your darkest hour. Be that leader that you needed when you came into the Navy. Be that leader that you would want your child to have if they were in school on a sports program or doing after-school activities. Take care and support each one of you equally by doing simple things like judging less and listening more. Start asking people 4 questions. How are you doing? And actually meaning it. Not passing by somebody in a P way, how you doing, what's up, and you keep walking. Because you never know if that person is having a bad day and you are the only person who act like they care in that moment. Look at each other as individuals and not as a title. As a member of the LGBTQIA family, I want everyone, and it doesn't even matter who you are, just to embrace who you are naturally at your core. Love who you are, no matter if you're gay, straight, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, transgender, it don't matter. I can say them all, so don't test me. Have confidence and pride and know that there's everything you have that you can offer this world. It should not matter who you're sleeping with or who you're in love with when you're doing GQ, putting out fires, doing search and rescue, going up for ranking boards, receiving accolades. No one should have to worry about being discriminated against, being judged, shamed, or made to feel less than. We all have a purpose on this earth. Each of your lives has a meaning. Your presence has a purpose. So be who you truly are, because everybody else is already taken. You can't be them. I've been blessed to have the courage and confidence to speak my truth and empower anyone and everyone to just love yourself first, find that confidence to live your life for you, and walk in your purpose. My purpose is to share with you and let you know that you're not the only one. We all have a story. Don't let social media fool you, right? But my story has helped so many people walk out on faith and become who they were meant to be. I'm transparent about what I've been through because there's so many me's that are serving in our Navy today, feeling defeated, feeling alone, not being able to trust their leadership. They're navigating life without a mentor or an outlet or anybody to speak to. So all I ask is for you to walk by somebody and just ask, how are you doing today? And actually mean it. And if you find yourself feeling depressed or needing someone to talk to, please reach out. Please find that help. It is definitely okay. I can vouch, it is definitely okay. Your mental health depends on it. I know because I was there. Now is your time to show up and show out and just be great. Own your truth and walk in your purpose. Walk in your purpose. I want to thank each of you for listening, and I am Master Chief Courtney Barber. If you want to follow anything that I am doing, you can have a website and you can visit me on all social media platforms. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Master Chief Barber. We recognize gay, lesbian, and bisexual service members and LGBTQ+ civilians for their dedicated service to our country. The heroic contributions made these Americans strengthen our national security. Whether officer, enlisted, civilian employee, or family member, their inclusion gives our nation greater promise and possibility. At this time, I would like to introduce Bataan CO, Captain Carmichael, to deliver his closing remarks.
All right, well, I don't know if I can, I hate coming up after some dynamic speakers, so I'm gonna make it short and close it out, and we're gonna get some of this great cake. So, great job, Master Chief, appreciate it. Your honesty and transparency is refreshing, thank you. And then for Big Five, thank you for having me here today for the ceremony. The LGBTQ Pride Month is a nationwide observance held every year in recognition of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities, as well as the impact those members have had in the world. Today we take pride in how the members of the LGBTQ community are free to serve their country openly because we believe in treating all soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines with dignity and respect that they deserve. Our society today is more open and tolerant of the past generations, but we still have a long ways to go. Embracing diversity and inclusion is critical in recruiting and retaining the force of the future. It is recognizing that our openness to diversity is one of the things that allows us to be the best in the world. And we must make sure that everyone who's able and willing to serve has the full and equal opportunity to do so. If you can meet the job standard, you should be able to do the job. If a person qualifies in every way for service, then they should not be denied the honor of defending our great nation and the freedoms we enjoy today. The Department of Defense has made a lasting commitment to living up to the values that we defend and to treating everyone equally. We have to focus relentlessly on our mission, which means that the things that matter most about a person is what they can contribute to our national defense. As we remind ourselves how diversity and inclusion help make us stronger, we must also remember that members of the LGBT community are woven into the fabric of our nation and are part of our national character. The LGBTQ community has contributed greatly here on Big Five and across all the fleet through dedication to service and their great sacrifice. Today's a celebration of diversity for the continual change of equality and in what we all have sworn to defend: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let's take great pride in our all who step forward to serve our country, pride in our Navy, and pride in our fellow shipmates. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Carmichael. Our nation was founded on the principle that individuals has infinite in dignity and worth. The Department of Defense, which exists to keep the nation secure and at peace, must always be guided by this principle. In all that we do, we must show respect for the servicemen, the servicewoman, the civilian employee, and family members, recognizing their individual needs, aspirations, and capabilities. On behalf of the Bataan Heritage Committee, we would like to thank you all for coming and being a part of the LGBTQ+ Pride Month celebration. Before we end, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Barack Obama. When all Americans are treated as equal, no matter who they are or whom they love, we are all more free. Remember to be yourself. Thank you for accepting us. Thank you for supporting us. And that's what we should do as a Bataan family and as people. Thank you guys for coming. Let's enjoy this cake.